In this video, we'll be learning how to get your writing style into Octave so that you can use the Octave brain to write copy that you like. So there are two places where you can create a writing style. You can actually go into styles and hit create new style, or you can go straight to the sequence agent builder and save the style you want to create there. And that's what we're going to do. Cool. So the reason why we're using the sequence agent builder is because this way we can actually test the agent on the style and fine tune the outputs. And at the end, we can save it as a reusable style. So as you can see here, we just quickly configured this agent, cold outbound, 3 steps, shows our product, and we said best match for the playbooks. And that should be good for us to build a style. So at this point in Octave, you've fine-tuned your library, you've built out a few playbooks, and you're ready to really start outbounding. So this is where you really want to put your finger on the scale for that last mile of what words actually show up in the email, in the LinkedIn message, in the actual thing that you're putting out there, right? So the first thing you're going to want to decide is, what do we want this cadence to feel like? Personally, I like my outbound to be more about initiating conversations rather than asking for time. But you can set up the CTA, the call to action settings, any way you want for every email. So the options you got are like initiate conversation, schedule meeting, request intro, ask for feedback, find time to connect, or if it's the last email in the sequence, you can politely disengage. So I'm going to put initiate conversation as all of these, just because that's kind of what I like my outbound to be like, but you can choose any CTA, even a custom CTA, where you can describe kind of what you want your ask to be. Next, you want to look at the section that's called methodology. So what methodology is like, what rules are we sticking to for structuring this email? So Octave methodology is like our opinionated idea of what good cold outbound is. But if you have opinions at all about how emails should be written, then choose either Octave plus custom or just pure custom instructions. So if you have just like a couple opinions, like use shorter sentences, or maybe even like add a Josh Braun type poke the bear question at the end, then Octave plus custom should work. If you add more than a few opinions, like if you keep writing, I'm just gonna pretend like I'm writing a really long instruction. It's going to say, looks like you have some opinions. Consider switching to custom instructions methodology instead of Octave plus custom. So what custom instructions does is it gives basically you the more of the wheels to the ship. And this helps because we don't want the model to get confused between Octave instructions and your instructions. So if you have a lot of opinions, do custom instructions. If you just have a few, do Octave plus custom. So cool, let's run this. And then reminder that this can only be done in the agent playground and not in the styles page itself. So we're going to find a test profile real quick. Let's run it. So now we can look at the output and maybe you're like, cool, this looks kind of good, but I'm not a fan of the word streamlined, and I kind of wish that it added more line breaks for readability, right? So what you can do is you can click on improve email, and this acts as like a meta prompter. So this will suggest a new configuration which you can approve or reject. So we're going to say, split up sentences, split up paragraphs more, and don't use the word streamline. Okay, that looks good. We're going to click improve with AI. Cool. So we can see the side by side of what we're changing in the configuration. We're saying, okay, we're changing this methodology from Octave to Octave plus custom. It's adding this custom instruction of splitting paragraphs, and it's updating the number of paragraphs in the email. So we don't need to actually configure this in the style, it just does it for us. And then we can click Apply Changes. Again, only in the agent playground, not in the Styles tab itself. Now, let's say we run it again and we like the message. So we want to narrow the scope of what the model can come up with. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit the thumbs up here, which will add it as an example email for the model to bite on. You can see it added as an example here on the left. So now if you come in here and you already have examples which you know are good outbound emails, you can add them as examples right off the bat. And in fact, we recommend that. We recommend if you know what's good, if you have stuff that has converted, throw that in here. All right, last couple things for the subject line, we can choose what we want to include in there. So if we want to include the recipient's name or the company or both, if we want it to be all lowercase, and we can also give it custom instructions like include this specific statistic, like 5% increase in whatever. You can add a custom instructions in there for what you want the subject line to sound like. And yeah, lastly, we can tune the length settings of each email. Like you can say like how long in like total word count, number of sentences, number of paragraphs. You can also tweak that as well. And then we can also go up to the top of the style and just say what's the reading level and the tone of the overall sequence. Reading level, we got 8th grade, high school, college, professional. Tone, we got casual, neutral, and formal. Awesome. So when we're happy with this, we can click Save as Reusable Style. Then we can give it a name. And then anytime we build an agent where we want to just have this style, we can load it in instead of configuring it again. Just like this, when you are starting from scratch with a new agent and you see writing style preset right here, you can just click on the style you created and it'll be locked in for you. And that's styles. Hope that helps.